Okay, we are going to read a really neat passage today. It's called I Will Fight No More Forever. Okay? Who wants to read our learning target for today? Lauren, read the learning target, please. Okay, so textual evidence. That is evidence, kind of like you're going to be a detective. So you're going to find proof in the text, and you're going to use it. So textual evidence is information from the text. And analysis, analyze, so we're going to kind of be looking through this and evaluating. You're going to demonstrate your understanding by using that textual evidence today. And at the end, we're going to kind of reflect and see how did you do with finding textual evidence and what did you use it for. Okay? So our first read of this really awesome passage, this is Chief Joseph. Just so you know. Okay, you are going to listen to me read this first time. Okay, and as we read, 5th grade, as we read, you have a job. I don't know if you noticed it up there before I switched. Your job is to figure out who Chief Joseph is, or who he was. And you are going to do that as I'm reading. You're going to highlight anything that tells us information about Chief Joseph. Penalty. Okay, take a minute to, if you didn't do it while we were reading, you're going to find evidence, textual evidence, from the passage of who Chief Joseph is. So anywhere that it talks about who he is, highlight that. Anywhere it talks about who he is.
His band name was...
Okay, a band of Nez Perce led by Chief Joseph fought hard. So let's think about that. If it's talking about how they fight hard, is that the kind of band that we usually think of where they're up on stage playing a lot of music?
No.
What kind of band do you think they're talking about there?
Like a tribe.
Like a tribe, yep, like their group, their band. So he's a leader of his tribe. Okay, so I want to ask you, I'm going to put your highlighter down. From what we just did, from our first read through, give me a thumbs up if you found evidence of who Chief Joseph was. Give me a thumbs up. That means you have highlighting on your paper that's not coloring, but highlighting on your paper that you purposely found information. Okay, now take your highlighter, stick it on the top corner, stand it up on the top corner of your desk. You're not going to need it for this next part. Do your best. Because we're going to read this through again. You're not going to need your highlighter for this one. While we read, I want you to see if you can figure out two things. One, the author organized the text in a very special way. I want you to see if you can figure out what that special way is that the author organized the text, the way he made it look, and what the author's purpose is. So we're going to read this together. So you're not going to highlight. We're going to read it together. Chorally means everybody at once. And you're going to try to figure out the author's purpose and just looking at the text, see if you can figure out how it's structured. So why it looks the way it does. Penalty. Okay, now look through the passage. I want you to see, how is the text structured? The author did something very specific with the way that he laid out and made the text look. See if you can figure out what he did. Okay, now what you are going to do, now that we've read it twice, you've heard part of it from Chief Joseph, your job is with your pencil, you're going to read the non-italicized parts. Remember, our classmates told us that those were his actual speech. While you're reading it, Chief Joseph mentions wanting to be free. He wants to be a free man. And he also talks about how he wants to have peace. So your job is to infer, is try to figure out in his mind, so if you pretend you're Chief Joseph, how do peace and freedom go hand in hand? How do they work together? Why does he want both? When you think you have it, you may talk to a partner, see if they have evidence of why peace and freedom go hand in hand. Okay. I heard it from a lot of you. I didn't hear from everybody. Why does Chief Joseph want peace and freedom? Why does he want both? Why does he want both? Yes, Alta. Okay. He's getting tired of the violence. Jenna?
I think he wants to have peace and freedom so he can get along with the white live in Oregon, and so that if they didn't get along, they wouldn't be able to trade their items.
Okay, so he wants to be free so he can go back to Oregon, because where is he now?
In Japan.
Oklahoma or Kansas. We're not sure exactly where. Yeah, Liza?
He wants to be treated like a free white man.
A free white man. Okay, here is your task right now. As we are done. And something that readers always do is they evaluate the piece. So you have two jobs. First, I want you to think. These were our two learning targets. Forgot to change the title up there. Our learning targets, you had to cite evidence as you read. I want you to think to yourself, give yourself a pat on the back if you cited textual evidence. Give yourself a pat on the back. So everybody should do that because every single person